My wife has told me she has checked out of our marriage and I have suspicions she's cheating with a coworker. Me 32 and wife 31 have been married for 10 years and have 2 children. We also just bought and moved into a new house. 2 months ago she told me that she doesn't feel anything towards me, doesn't love me, doesn't trust me, and that she doesn't feel happy in our relationship. She also told me to stop telling her that I love her because she was just feeling obligated to say it. She said she feels that way because she thinks I'm cheating and I checked out. To address the checking out, I thought we were still close, maybe just a little distant because of stress, and she hadn't brought anything up directly. The only thing that was stressing me out and changing things was that we were house hunting and buying a new house in the middle of September. It was also something that when she asked what was wrong I mentioned. The reason she thought I was cheating was because I left early from my work to pick up my kids and her from school, and while we were doing errands there was a red mark that showed up on my neck. Though over the next couple minutes it was spreading to where my entire neck was red on one side. She said that it reacted like that because I was caught, though by the time we finished everything and I had gone back to work the redness was already gone. We have had some other trust issues that I ended up going to counseling for to see her way and change my mind. Though even though that was the case, she still goes through my phone trying to find anything and doesn't trust me there also. She told me mid-October she wants to try a trial separation, and that while she doesn't have anyone in mind she wants to feel something with someone else. I asked her to talk with me to discuss exactly what the separation would entail and the expectations, and it still hasn't been discussed even though I had tried a couple times to bring it up again. A week or so after this I went to log into Facebook and she was logged in. There was a pending message from her coworker saying something I thought was flirty. I asked her about it and ended up getting yelled at that she flirts with people and that it isn't any of my business since we are doing the separation. I brought up we hadn't even discussed any part of what that would entail and that we were still married. She said that she was going to give me until after the holidays to make a decision, but that me bringing it up is forcing her to make a decision about getting a divorce. Since then, her and her coworker have hung out a lot, they are constantly talking, and she has spent the night at their house a couple times. And a week or so ago she said she wants to sleep with someone else, though she said once again she doesn't have anyone in mind. I had told her if she does that while we are still married I might end up resenting her. Since then I've been burying it down that it hurts, but I feel like if I try to say anything it won't matter, as she will just say we are doing the trial separation. So I've been trying to focus on myself, be as patient as I can, and keep myself in a better state. It's getting harder and harder to not just look and see what is going on. I'm just not sure if I'm fooling myself into thinking that our relationship could get back to where it was, or if I'm just being taken for a ride and just being left in a state of limbo while she uses the separation to do what she wants. I'm half on the fence of just filing for a divorce myself, but I want things to work out and I've told her that I'm willing to do whatever I need to do and wait as long as she needs. I also don't want to upturn things for our kids as we just moved and got them into a better school. If we get a divorce and I end up having to pay any sort of alimony or child support, we will have to get rid of the house and move. She told me that she doesn't want any of that from me, but it's hard to say. While I know this is just an accounting of just my side and I know there is probably a lot that I'm missing, I'm making this post to get an opinion from someone outside our friend groups or people that have a jaded view from their own failed marriages. I am not sure where to go next, whether just to confirm my suspicions and file for divorce myself and let her figure it out, or just keep doing what I am doing and being patient until she gets herself figured out and wait to see what decision she makes. Update: attorney appointment tomorrow, but everything is still difficult. I'm having trouble keeping it together after everything and trying to move forward. We had originally agreed to do an uncontested divorce. I have my first appointment with the attorney tomorrow. We still haven't gotten through the paperwork yet, and are supposed to tonight. I've been asking for her to look over everything and go through it the past week, but she got hung up on a child support worksheet that I printed to show the difference between shared custody for more than 128 days and basic visitation under 127 days, and decided to not look at the rest, and saying that is me not letting her see the kids. I've said she could stay in the house as long as she needs to get her stuff in order, but she keeps bringing up things like whether she can have the new guy over. I said I would want neither of us to have someone we are seeing romantically around the kids, but she said that is just my insecurity with him. She then used that point to call in our children and ask what they would think if either of us were kissing or with another person to be happy. Both boys said they would be okay with that, sort of hesitantly, and then the youngest blew up into tears when he realized we wouldn't be living together at some point. She also demanded to see what I have been saying to my friends again, or she would make things messy with the divorce. She also called the kids over to make me give her the code. I gave in once again because I hadn't said anything bad to her, but there was still things she decided to focus on to assume I'm saying the worst of her and that I don't actually want her in the house. Tonight when we go through all the paperwork, I'm just hoping it goes smoother. If we can't, I'll find out what to do next with the attorney. I'm just having trouble trying to not have reactions to what she is doing, especially with calling the kids into the discussion. Update: how to have healthy sexual urges or feelings after being cheated on. I feel weird as hell asking this, but I don't want to go down a road that causes problems I haven't really dealt with before. I haven't had a problem sexually before now. Now it's difficult to do anything when I had a high libido before. For some context, a big point of strife in our marriage was about me watching porn. I was originally open about what I watched, but early in our relationship she brought up me watching cartoon porn in front of a bunch of friends and roommates when we were hanging out and making fun of me for it. After that happened, I started lying and hiding it. It was a problem through most of our relationship, to where I went to therapist to see her point of view on why she didn't want me watching it, and to get over my issues with what she did myself. Talking with the therapist, she didn't think I had an addiction or problem, it was just me lying about it that was mostly discussed. I got to the point a few years ago where I stopped watching porn and wasn't lying or hiding anything. Before and after this point we were as sexually active as we could be with 2 kids. At least 3-4 times a month, sometimes more, sometimes less. Now when she first starting being distant a couple months ago and said she doesn't feel anything for me, I tried watching porn but didn't feel anything. I found an old movie of ours that we made together, and up until I found out she was cheating, that was the only thing that would excite me. Now after I found out she has been cheating, I can't even watch our video without feeling everything negative about this whole situation. I've started trying to watch porn again, but I had ended up with me just watching a million different things trying to feel something. I also started going to campsites, watching VR videos, and have even debated about poking around on OnlyFans. I haven't spent money or anything, but I'm close to that point when I haven't before. I also have no desire for another woman. The thought of trying to get with another woman makes me somewhat sick to my stomach. I've started trying to entertain the idea of just going to the next town over to go to a strip club just to see what that makes me feel. Does this make sense, or what would be a good way to get back to a point where I don't end up in a spiral of trying to feel something with porn, or with anything? The divorce isn't finalized yet, and while she is sleeping with someone, I can't even think of how I could bring myself to. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, I've been cheated on in 2 long-term relationships, spanning 8 and 2 years. The first person in a relationship will call her H for the hell she put me through. Damaged me severely. I was scared of S-time, where S-time used to be a fun thing, it actually became a fear. Then move on to the one that I currently broke up with about a couple weeks ago. This girl not only was cheating on me constantly, and I mean constantly over the course of 2 years. She was also sharing needles with people and using 4 drugs. Something I thought she had gotten over. When we first hooked up we were friends. I was like, before we ever mess around we've got to go to clean by the health and everything else, so she did and we did. We both proved that we had clean bills of health. And we started messing around. Now if I know from other sources that she's been sharing needles constantly the whole time and that she hasn't been off of the needle for that long at all, she hasn't been off of the needle at all. So here I am in health crisis waiting on test results to find out if she has or not infected me with some type of illness that could potentially cut my life very short. Yet I'm the bad guy because I didn't return all her things. And when I tried to bring up the potential for the hepatitis, HIV etc., this narcissist couldn't even hear what I was saying because all she could hear was "I don't have my clothes bag" in her own head. So after this round of testing and hopefully a clean bill of health, I will probably never sleep with anyone again. I would rather beat my meat than be infected by somebody that I think is loyal and loving and committed, just to find out they could be murdering my ass on the down low. Redditor 2, your libido may return if you can take the time to heal fully. In my opinion, that can never happen as long as you are together. I stayed with my cheating wife, and although it appears she has never cheated again, our S-time life is non-existent, and is unlikely to get any better.